when we're actually discussing what I can do, you know, once we've gone through and find out a little bit about where did they meet, maybe what their vision for their wedding is, are they kind of fun-loving couple, or are they a bit more laid back? There's a whole bunch of questions which I want to ask them to find out who they are. But once we get to the point where we're discussing who I am and what I do, it basically boils down to 2 or 3 things. It's going to boil down to, you know, the sound, the lighting, the dress code, and I guess professionalism as much as anything, kind of overall. Contrary to what a lot of you might think, brides and grooms really, really, really do not care what kind of equipment you use, what kind of you know, names, brand names you use. They really, really don't care. They care, is it relatively new? Is it reliable? Is it, you know, do you have backup of everything? Do you have, you know, do you have second, like a second amplifier, for instance, or do you have backup speakers, or do you have backup lights? They want to know that there's those kind of things, but they really don't care what, you know, is it JBL, is it PV, is it, you know, York, you know, they don't care any of that. Yorkville, they don't care any of that. They really just care, is it going to let me down on the biggest day of my life? So, you know, where it comes to lighting, one of the things, obviously, for those of you who have a lot of LED lighting, again, they don't care what kind of lighting you've got, but they will care if you tell them that LED is tiny little power draw, it's very reliable, it's going to last, and probably isn't going to, you know, it's not going to break on the day of their wedding. And for any of you who put your lights on the floor, I know a lot of you do, I do sometimes, is have, you know, a light pointing on the floor, pointing at the ceiling. They want to know that you know, little Susie's not going to go up, put her hand on it and burn herself. So these things are important to them. Makes, models, any of that, not so much. They want to know how you're going to dress, and for me, I turn it around. I said, what is the dress code? How is everyone else going to be dressed? If they're going to be dressed in you know, if it's a Hawaiian theme, then, you know, you're going to dress down a little more than you will be if everybody's in tuxedos. But you always want to dress, or I always want to dress, one level maybe above what everyone else is dressed as. If they're all fairly casual, then I'll be in, you know, shirt and tie. If they're in, you know, dress suits, then I'm looking to either have, you know, my kilt or tuxedo on, whichever one is going to work. If they're, you know, like I said, if they're dressed down, or if it's a costume party, then obviously you dress accordingly. But you need to turn it around and ask, how are you going to be dressed? Because I'll make sure I'm dressed better. The professionalism thing is going to come into play, and it's one of the things I touched on in video number 1, which was I don't price by the hour. And so for that reason, one of the questions I need to find out is, what is the first time that any of your guests are going to be arriving? They say 5 p.m. I'm going to be there from 3, because I'm going to need an hour and a half to completely get set up, have music playing, have the lights rigged up, everything, and it gives me a chance to go and, you know, clean up and dress how I'm going to be for the night. Because, well, let's face it, I'm going to be in, you know, in summer in shorts and a t-shirt, and in winter I'm going to be in jeans and a t-shirt when I'm bringing my gear in, because, you know, I don't want to get my suit or my kilt or any of that, you know, covered in dust or whatever that's on the outside of my equipment. So that for me is really important. What time are your guests arriving? Because I'll be there 2 hours before it. Because I don't want to be lifting speakers through the reception while they're all standing there having cocktails, or I don't want to be setting up and sound checking while they're having dinner. Plus, I just think providing dinner music and cocktail hour music, some people, again, they charge more for that. I don't. It's just the way I do it. I build in that price into, you know, what my overall price is. I don't charge extra for that. Again, it's just something that works for me. I think it's more professional, and from the feedback I've had from my brides and grooms, so do they.